The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, you're encouraged to like and share them on Facebook. It's time for Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World in downtown Fort Pierce, US 1 between Orange Avenue and Avenue A, across from City Hall in the historic Arcade Building. This week, a special edition of Joanne's World of Nutrition. This week's special guest host is the one and only Dr. Ravi.
Good morning, Cliff.
Wow, here we are again, huh?
I am glad to be on the show this morning, and today we have an amazing substitute for Joanne, and it is Mitsu Handel. She's coming from Mind, Body, and Synergies.
Okay.
So Mitsu, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. It's really awesome to be here with you. Thank you for having me. Like Dr. Ravi said, my name is Mitsu Handel, and I am a health, life, and transformational coach, and also a licensed therapist with Mind, Body, Synergies.
Great. And so this morning, we're definitely going to go along with our breathing technique.
Oh, you want to do that this
Of
morning?
course,
Let's
yes.
do it.
We have to.
We'll do
It's
three.
Joanne's
It's
trademark.
tradition.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? I'll bet you Joanne is sitting somewhere listening to this show, and she's thinking, I hope they remember to do that because I really need it this morning.
Yeah, some great benefits for taking and doing this exercise. You know, it gets more oxygen to the brain.
And medical professionals all over the world agree that breathing is good for your health.
Yeah, without oxygen, what would happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't want to know.
No, we don't want to know, but you know what? If you got a minute and you want to feel better right now, what we're going to do is we're going to do three of these. We'll do the a nice slow inhale for 5 seconds through the nose, hold it for 5 seconds, and then release it in 5 seconds. So it takes 15 seconds for it to go in and out. It's real slow. But if we do that 3 times, if you need to catch your breath after that, then you can, but you probably won't. Because if you're not running while you do this, if you're not careful, you could start dreaming before you're asleep. If you have any trouble sleeping, this will help. But here it goes. Now, are you all ready? We'll let it all out. Exhale it all out. And here we go for the inhale through your nose. Go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can open your eyes now. And if you're driving, we hope you didn't close your eyes while you're driving.
That feels good.
Yeah, it does. And you can do this for a minute. You can do this for hours if you want. But if you have any trouble sleeping, try that. I didn't even think about it. One time I was having trouble sleeping, and I just started doing the breathing thing, and next thing I knew, I was waking up.
Cliff, it was funny with the moon. It's so bright.
Oh.
And I
So
have a
close.
feeling that I can't fall asleep when there's a full moon. So I do these exercises.
Oh, okay.
And I think by the third time, I'm out.
Wow.
And it only happens when we have a full moon.
Huh.
Is
What
it strenuous
This?
exercise?
This exercise, just
Oh, wow.
breathing
Really?
in.
Oh, breathing.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
Wow.
this breathing exercise.
Maybe it's connected.
I think so.
It might be because, hey, we're like the Earth. There's 70% water.
Yes,
Our bodies and the Earth are consisted of pretty much the same elements.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes. So I want to go over some things that we had a great time, our seminar last 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Just want to recap over some of the things that
Resolution reset.
a lot of our community members took away from that.
Absolutely.
It was a great seminar. And of course, Mitsu was there helping people attain and reach their goals and sticking with their resolutions.
Yeah.
And one big thing I want you to talk about is that, that mindset of resolutions and the mantras.
The mantra and the theme.
Yes.
Yeah, so a lot of us, we're told to do New Year's resolutions, but the statistics show that we tend to fall off the wagon 7 to 14 days after we've set a New Year's resolution. So now that we're February 20th, I think most of the U.S. has probably already fallen off track, right, based on these stats.
And
So
then the rest is in denial.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one of the things that Dr. Ravi and I talked about at the seminar was, instead of proposing a New Year's resolution, we were suggesting and inviting folks to have a mantra or a theme, which is more present focused, and it's helping somebody to really embody sort of the new sort of person they want to become. So if they want to become healthier for 2019, that will help them to embody different healthier choices, as opposed to forcing yourself and struggling to make yourself have to do this New Year's resolution that really you're not invested in, that really doesn't connect to your why, that doesn't connect to who you want to be, and it's just a behavior that fades in a couple weeks. So that was one of the things that we talked about.
Yeah, and I really like it how we pointed out that, the mantra is in the present. So we're focusing on the now.
Exactly.
And you know what I tell all my patients is the decisions that we make today dictate where we are in the next 20, 30 years.
Absolutely.
So things that we can prevent now can prevent, health complications that we're seeing every day, like cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes. And, that activity that we did with the worksheet, a lot of patients and community members enjoyed that.
Good.
When, patients came into the office, they were telling me their feedback. And, I hold them accountable, and I asked them, like, where are you on this process? Where are you with your goals? Where are you with your new mantras, with your new resolutions? And, they're sticking with it. They're saying these positive affirmations. And so, this is what creates the changes for them.
Absolutely.
These mantras and resolutions.
And to add to that, one of the things that we talked about was habit change, right? Because as a health and life coach, I'm not a nutritionist like Joanne. I am a master of habit change, because habits are the number one determiners of someone's quality of life. So that really goes into sort of tying into somebody's theme or mantra for the year. And like you said, starting small, if they can make small habit changes, small tiny steps, like drinking more water, whatever simple changes they can start to make, and then we can go from there. Because like you said, each day they make these good decisions, it compounds over time, right? So that 20, 30, 40 years from now, that's what their health will look like. But we have to start now, and we have to start small so that we're not getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, and so I'm just throwing this little plug in here. You brought up water, and so what I do find is, like, a lot of these patients that come in with low back pain, it's mainly their muscles that spasm up and causing the bones of their spine to misalign. And that's where I come in as their chiropractor, is get that alignment, properly functioning well, and work on their structure. But if they're not putting in the quality nutrients into their body, like water, it's gonna keep misaligning. And so what I tell my patients is they need half of their body weight in ounces of water. And so for someone that's not drinking water all day long, that might be a little hard to get to, right? So we want to start out very slowly, this is creating habit change. And so eventually they'll get up to half of their body weight in ounces.
Or maybe somebody is really addicted to soda.
Yeah.
And they say, you know what, I realize I'm having 8 cans of soda a day, but I want my new goal to be, to cut back on soda so that I can have more and more water. Because we know that soda is really
toxic
for the
Especially
body.
diet soda is toxic because
double toxic.
Women have a greater increased risk of heart attack with diet sodas.
Not only heart attack, but even cancer.
Wow.
The aspartame, the sucralose.
Obesity too.
Yeah, look out for these chemicals that are placed in the diet drinks. And so even the sodas that are out there, the sugar that they're utilizing, this is creating, cells to proliferate, even cancerous cells, creating a rise in cancer. So
Cancer loves
diabetes, high blood pressure.
High blood pressure.
And cancer is sugar.
Yes.
It's addictive.
It would never get passed through the FDA today if it were a brand new discovery. Sugar would not get
It
passed.
wouldn't.
No,
It
it's
wouldn't.
too dangerous.
It
It's
wouldn't.
more dangerous than, more addictive than cocaine. Sugar is.
Yes, it's a drug.
That is true.
It is. It's a drug.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a drug we like very much.
Wow.
But we must try to make small changes.
Yes.
They gotta
For our
stop
health.
putting it in chocolate.
So we We went over some ways to make these goals attainable and achievable, and it was very simple. How we broke it down in the SMART acronym, with S being specific, making sure that your goal is specific, making sure that it's measurable. Yeah, and so that you can, for the attainable, you want to make sure that you can hit this, making sure it was done before, whether it was for you or yourself or your, someone that you follow. And the R, relatable, and getting it done effectively. And then the T was timely, in a timely fashion. So putting a time on it, so you can celebrate those wins over time. Make yourself feel good.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like when I do the life coaching or health coaching programs with my clients, time is of the essence, because one of the things that we do is we work in a 90-day increment. So why? Because we want to help clients to make sustainable lifestyle changes that aren't just quick fixes where you're going to get a fake breakthrough. So with a 90-day period of having 12 coaching sessions, someone is really able to make these small tweaks and changes and focus in really attentively on 1 to 3 main goals that they have, where they're laser focusing in, they're being held accountable, they're being supported, and so by the end of the 90 days, they really have a foundation. It's not the end, right?
Yeah.
But they have a good foundation for starting out with a healthier lifestyle. And it's done in an easy way, in a simplified way, sort of how we did in the seminar.
Yeah. And I just want to share an example with, one of our participants that were in the crowd. They have 4 kids, and they want to lose weight. And so they wake up at, really early in the morning to get the kids ready for their day, get the lunch packed. But they still need to exercise. So they get overexhausted, they get overstressed. And that causes a cascade of hormonal responses in the body, and that adds more stress to their body, creating more fat gain. And so we definitely don't want that. So how is that relatable to their schedule? So they think they need to exercise in the morning all the time. So they need to wake up earlier, or they, do their exercises during their day, during their lunch break. And people, they need options.
Being flexible is really important.
Flexible. And they need to relate it to their schedule. And so sometimes we just focus on, I can't do it this time. And they say, I'm not going to do it.
Yes, that's why flexibility is really, really important.
There's always time to fit in some type of exercise, or even just picking up something healthy to eat. We're definitely we love Dr. Mercola's research and what he promotes, which is the high intensity interval training.
All about it.
Yeah, and so that helps increase growth hormones, and that's going to decrease cortisol levels, so you become a fat burner instead of the sugar burner that, what we're putting in our body, we're just burning the sugar. We want to burn fat if our main goal is to lose weight.
Yeah, and the HIIT can be shorter.
Just 12 minutes.
Frames.
Yeah, 12,
so
6 minutes.
So a mom who has 4 kids, who's really busy, can sneak in 15 to 30 minutes of a HIIT workout and get even maybe better results than somebody who's doing maybe a longer workout at the gym.
And causing stress on their body.
Causing stress on their body for an hour or two.
Yes.
So I really love the HIIT workouts. For the results and the time, efficiency.
So if we have any questions that anyone has with, getting goals or just wanting to set a goal, give us a call. We're live on the radio here, so call us at 340-1590, and Mitsu and I will be here to answer any questions.
340-1590, and you want to take a little break right here? We could do that if you like, and at the bottom of the hour, we have some news, but
let's see if we have any questions.
Yeah, so give us a call, 340-1590, and Dr. Ravi and guests standing by to answer your questions. This is a special edition of Joanne's World of Nutrition. We'll be right back.
Guiding the Treasure Coast in health, one person at a time. That's their motto at Joanne's Nutrition World, Suite 121, in the historic Arcade Building on US 1, downtown Fort Pierce. Joanne brings more than 25 years of experience in the natural health industry, right here to you. Take advantage of this free personal guide to wellness and good health. Meet with Joanne herself and get started. Nutrition World always provides you with the hottest new product lines, natural and homeopathic remedies, herbals, and best of all, expert advice from the people who care. Call Joanne at 464-3598, 464-3598, and learn the correlation between diet and great health. Stop in today. The expert guidance to health is always free at Nutrition World. Nutrition World, Suite 121 in the Arcade Building, US 1, downtown Fort Pierce.
Hey, it's Dr. Ravi at Tradition Family Chiropractic. We are dedicated to serving you and your family with integrity, compassion, and innovative care through the most advanced chiropractic care ever in chiropractic history, encouraging your health and your family's health to its maximum potential on a regular basis. Call us today at 772-345-0060 or schedule online at traditionhealth.com for your free consultation.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
Now back to Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World in downtown Fort Pierce. This week's special guest host is Dr. Ravi. We're back.
So one of the things that we wanted to talk about, in speaking of making changes, right? Sustainable changes. We want to talk a little bit about mindset. Right? Because one of the things that's super important when I coach my clients is taking a look at their mindset, because if their mindset is not aligned with their goals, it's going to be almost impossible for them to sustain change. So one of the things that we want to invite you to think about is, if you're going to make a change in your health, in your life, consider first clearing the clutter. What do I mean by that? Anybody do spring cleaning in their closets?
Yes.
So when you're going to be making health or life changes, it's a really good idea to sort of emotionally and energetically clear the clutter around you, in your environment, in your home, emotionally, in your relationships, because you want to clear and make space for the room, to have the actual space and room to make those healthy changes into your life. Because if it's too much clutter, if there isn't any room, how is it going to fit? Just like the clothes in your closet, right? If you're buying too many clothes and you never actually donate any and your closet is jam-packed, you're never going to fit any new items that you buy. So one of the things that we want to encourage is having helpful ways of thinking, so that you can make these changes last. And one thing that's really important, like we talked about earlier, is celebrating the small wins. Because as we're making the small changes, as we're seeing some progress heading in the direction that we want to go, that's really key, right? We don't want to beat ourselves up. We don't want to berate ourselves and only be proud of ourselves when we're at the finish line. We want to, pat ourselves on the back every time we make a small win, because that's going to encourage us to continue along the way and make it a sustainable, healthy lifestyle change. Another one that's really, really important is creating conditions for our inevitable success. What do I mean by that? An example would be like an accountability partner. We did a little bit of that in the seminar, where we paired up people to discuss their goals setting. And that's something that's really important that we also do in coaching, is we not only support our clients, but we give them the accountability, so that every week when we're meeting with them, like you mentioned, Dr. Ravi, you're checking in with your patients on how were they doing with their goals when you saw them at your practice. And that's something that's key. One of the other things we can do is identify things that could get in the way, right? We want to anticipate when something's going to possibly go wrong, so we can have alternative solutions already sort of planned. Just like the example you were sharing earlier with the mother who has 4 kids, well, time is going to be one of her possible challenges. So how is she going to be creative in setting up her time, to maintain her exercise routine while she's trying to be a good mother to 4 kids? So that would be one of the things that we would definitely want to consider, so that her lifestyle changes are being put into the context of her actual circumstances. Another thing that's really helpful is having supports in place, and surrounding yourself with the people, places, and things that really are in line with your vision. Whether that's a doctor, whether those are family members, friends that have sort of the same mindset and are trying to make healthier changes, it'll be much easier for you if everyone around you is sort of in that same mentality, than if it's a constant struggle and having pressures and temptations because the people in your life are not not really in any alignment with what you're trying to accomplish. You know, another one too that I would encourage is having freedom around food. And I know that might sound like an interesting topic, but I really do believe that when we set ourselves up for deprivation, and when we really create this sort of punishment type of relationship with food, we don't really get long-term results that are healthy and sustainable. But when we allow ourselves to let go a little bit, and we create a healthy relationship to food, and we create a healthy relationship with our bodies, then again, the come from is going to be different, right? Rather than a diet mentality, rather than a struggle, rather than, oh, I can't believe I can't have this freaking donut. It's who am I being, and who do I want to become, and what is the type of person I want to be, and how is that going to inform my choices in a way that's free, right? And maybe once in a while, I might have something that isn't considered healthy and not beat myself up for it, but it's not a daily part of my life. It's not something I do consistently. So maybe 80% of the time, 90% of the time, you know, I am focusing on my health goals. I'm making healthy choices. I'm moving my body. I'm having enough water. But then here and there on occasion, you know, yeah, I might splurge and have a dessert or a piece of cake or a piece of donut and move forward without any guilt, without any shame, without any body image issues, and just sort of enjoy it. And move forward and continue eating healthy and continue, you know, exercising. So those are just a few of the things that, you know, I would suggest while making changes for health.
Great. Yeah, that mindset is very, very important. And that's why it's very essential that we, you know, work on that. And with the whole, that's why it's one of our, you know, first essentials. Because if we can't fix the brain, nothing else, you know, matters.
Absolutely.
And so that's one thing with our patients, is that we're always striving to decrease their stress load. And that's where working with you comes into play in getting them those results.
Absolutely. And when you give patients and clients choices, that's where, again, you have more freedom. So if I'm giving, you know, more options and more choices, I'm creating more flexibility, I'm creating more empowerment, then that means that my client is not feeling deprived. My client is not feeling stressed by this quote unquote diet. It's a way of living. It's a way of eating.
It's, yeah, the relationship they build with their, you know, just as their family, it's with their food.
Exactly.
What they're putting in.
Exactly.
That big round the table dinner every night.
Well, what are you cooking?
Yeah, that depends.
That is the question.
Well, I try to avoid the noodles, you know, because they're starches.
Yes, those unhealthy carbs.
Yeah, and you know, all I've got to do is, well, there was a time where I went completely bonkers about what I was eating. Wouldn't eat anything except real vegetables and proper meats and stuff like that.
That's the way to eat.
Yeah, but when I did that, then I had one time, just once during that time, I had a great big orange and macaroni and cheese in the same day, and I had a massive evacuation take place. My body didn't want it because it was so spoiled on the no sugar, no starch type of thing, you know.
All right.
But you know what? We got a 4-minute break here for the state news from the Florida Radio Network, and then Dr. Ravi and guest is going to be back for Joanne's World of Nutrition. And if you have questions, get ready to call us back in 4 minutes when we return. Good morning and welcome back to Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World. US 1 between Orange Avenue and Avenue A, across from City Hall in Fort Pierce in the historic arcade building. Joanne's going to be joining us on the phone very shortly, but right now back to the guest host and guest this week, Dr. Ravi. Wonderful job so far on the show. Rapid fire information. We love it.
Great. And we have some awesome more information on essential number 3, which is nutrition.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. And just before we were took a little break there, we were talking about the food that we're eating. Yeah, and for dinner. So, you know,
no donuts for dessert tonight.
No,
okay.
nope.
Wrong.
So yeah, for nutrition, you know, we're basically eating for nutrients. And so nutrients is basically the food that we're putting in our body and how our body breaks it down. And so this nutrition is broken up into, you know, 6 different nutrients. And the first 3 is our macronutrients. That's giving us a vital and very vital for energy. So your fats, your carbs, and your protein. And so those are the building blocks of how we're made, how our body utilizes energy. And then the other three are our vitamins, minerals, and my favorite one, water. Which, we need half our body weight in ounces once again. So make sure, for guests out there listening, make sure you're getting your adequate water intake. Essential for every mechanism in your body. The first macronutrient that I want to talk about is carbs, and these are important to get in our body, and making sure it's essential carbs. So not the refined carbs, not the pastas, the breads. These are coming from our vegetables, and this is going to help with our fiber intake. Oftentimes with people that have digestive issues aren't getting the adequate the carbs they need. They're getting all the bad carbs, the refined ones. Yes. And the next one is fats. Fats is essential for every single mechanism in our body, once again, just like water. Yep. The fat insulates every single cell, and so cells need to communicate with one another. And so when they lose their fat shell, if that's what you want to call it, they're not able to communicate with one another. They can't talk. So
I like that image.
It's like us losing signal when we're on the phone.
Can you hear me now?
I got my fat, yes.
I got some coconut oil.
Yes.
There's good fats and bad fats.
There is.
Absolutely.
And so some good fats are your coconut oils, your extra virgin olive oils, avocado oils. There's fat in eggs. So you want to make sure you're getting all these essential fats in your diet.
Nuts.
And, of course, nuts, great way to snack and satisfy that hunger, but also revitalize your body with proper nutrients. Yeah. And so a great way to start off the morning is a spoonful of coconut. And if you don't like that, you can, definitely use avocados, because in the morning you want to make sure you're getting a lot of fat in your diet, because that's going to give you energy for the day.
Fat, right?
The good fat.
We're not talking about bacon.
You want to stay away from the bad fats.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of those. These are your trans
The trans
fats.
fat.
Yeah, folks, now they're going to talk about the stuff that you like, but
The
you
hydrogenated
really
oils.
Yes,
Yeah,
the hydrogenated oils, vegetable oils, canola oils. And it's not to scare you guys, but it's just to create that mind shift, that mindset change that, you can change and replace your hydrogenated vegetable oils for the coconut oil.
Yeah.
That's going to get you more energy, and that's going to get your body fulfilled of health. And so, things that are hydrogenated, they basically take out the hydrogen compounds and put more to help increase the shelf life.
Margarine is a good example of that.
Yes.
It's not butter.
It's not butter.
No, it's not.
Sometimes you're better off with real butter than what they do with the margarine. But now, is the real butter also sort of a bad fat for us?
No, real butter is great. It's good. It's going to give us essential
How did
fat.
margarine
Ghee is really
ever
good, too.
worm its way into the market?
I don't know.
It's not as tasty as real butter.
Ants are really smart, because if you lay real butter in your garage and you lay margarine right next to it, the ants go for the real butter.
Yeah.
They will stay away from
They
the
know
margarine.
the good stuff.
Yeah, the margarine is actually one molecule away from plastic.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah.
Which kind
so,
of, they're talking about
Toxins.
Toxins.
Plastic in landfills. What about in your stomach?
Exactly. And just think, how is your body, absorbing and eliminating that? It's really hard to.
Yeah.
So this is why we're seeing a lot of people with autoimmune conditions in my office. A lot of people that have inflammation in their digestive system. The next one is proteins. So making sure you're getting proper protein in your diet. Protein is essential for, building blocks of, muscle, building muscle strength, collagen as well. So great way to get protein in your diet is, if you're plant-based, making sure you're eating your vegetables. But if you grow up eating meats, making sure your meats are clean. For your beef, making sure it's grass-fed beef. These meats are not adulterated, meaning they're not shot with antibiotics. They're free range, so they're non-stressed animals. Whereas the ones that you're getting from farms are in a secluded area. They're all, sleeping on top of one another.
They don't get their proper exercise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're being fed corn, and most likely it's GMO corn.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
And that's what we're ingesting in our body.
Wow.
The next one is going to be vitamins. Vitamins are essential and very important for, once again, every mechanism in our body.
Mm-hmm.
And so your fat-soluble ones, your A, D, K, and E, these are the ones that we need and we're getting from our nutrients. But it's important to, when you're taking your multivitamin, that you make sure you have your C's and B's, which are more water-soluble, the things we lose. So when you're drinking a lot of water and you're eliminating it, you're actually eliminating vitamin C and B's as well.
Right.
And so you want to make sure that you're supplementing with that. And I know Joanne at her store, she has amazing products that you can get your hands on for that. And minerals. Minerals are, it's important, once again, for the mechanisms for cell-to-cell communication, what goes in the cell to what comes out. Just think of it as the garage door opener. It actually is opening, and so like calcium, magnesium, chromium, zinc, very important minerals that we're not getting in on a daily basis. So, making sure that when you are at Joanne's store, you're getting these proper minerals in your vitamins.
Speaking of Joanne's store,
we have
Joanne on the phone with us.
Ooh.
Hey, Joanne.
Hi, Joanne.
Hi, guys. I am totally multitasking right now. I have like 3 customers, but so I just wanted to say a quick shout out. Thank you guys so much for doing the show today. You guys sound amazing.
Thank you.
And I do want to give a couple, Dr. Ravi, last night you helped me with my plantar fasciitis.
Great.
It was totally, new to me. I didn't even know what it was until the weekend.
You were screaming. You scared all the patients away.
I know. Oh, my God. And I was biting my finger trying not to scare anyone. But I just want you to know that today I feel amazing.
Awesome. Great to hear.
Amazing. And Mitsu, I want to mention to you, I know we have our consultation today at 3, but I've already been putting in some of the action plans from the seminar on Saturday that you guys obviously did together. And, oh, my gosh, I already feel like I'm getting a little more, a little better mindset, like you said, taking acknowledgement of the small steps, not just focused on the goal.
Beautiful. Good to hear.
Yeah, so again, thank you guys. I'm going to get back to the customers. You guys are doing a great job, and thank you so much.
Are they going to be in your store at any time soon where folks can meet them? Or
no, but you know what? We should do that. Well, I know that I'm sure Dr. Ravi brought it up. He probably doesn't have any spots left, but meet the doctor. I can say the first customer that comes into my store and mentions it, I'll take as a guest to that dinner.
Wow.
So I could do something like that. But, yeah, that's a great idea, Cliff. You know what? We'll talk later about that and try to set up a time where we could all hang out at the store and do a meet and greet.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's a great idea.
That's cool.
All right. Well, I'm going to get back to my little reality here so you guys continue informing the customers of all your good insights, okay?
All right.
Thanks, Joanne.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Joanne. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
We can say this. We can say that you can go to Joanne's Nutrition World right now, and she's there.
Yeah.
In fact, she's listening to the radio in there, too, I'll bet you right now. So you won't miss a minute of this show. Head on over there right now and meet her, because she was just on the phone live on the air, so you know she's there. All right.
All right. So, yeah, talking more about those vitamins and those minerals. Because they're so smaller in quantity, you're not getting any calories from it. So it's not going to, I have patients that say, well, I'm concerned about my weight gain. It's not going to play an effect. In fact, it's going to help you, especially for the diabetic population. Chromium, zinc, very, very important. And, the spices are very important as well. So when you're looking to put in food, make your food tasty, palatable, this is a great way. Instead of adding all that MSG, all the toxins, make it fun. Use the extra virgin olive oil to soak with some basil, fresh basil, thyme, even cinnamon, even turmeric. This is going to help decrease inflammation. I know chromium and cinnamon. Chromium is a mineral that you're going to get in your multivitamin, but cinnamon, infusing cinnamon in water That's the best thing I do or tell my patients that have diabetes.
It's great for blood sugar.
Blood sugar. Yep, for diabetes. And so anyone that has like even type 1, type 2 diabetes can definitely utilize this. Just putting in some cinnamon sticks in a jar of water in the fridge, and first thing in the morning,
like a tea.
Consuming that. It's just like a tea.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that definitely helps stabilize blood pressure.
Cinnamon sticks as opposed to powdered cinnamon? It's probably soluble in water better with the sticks, isn't it?
With the sticks, yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can use the powdered version for the foods,
Okay.
for putting it as a spice.
So we're not
things.
encouraging the cinnamon challenge, by the way. That was kind of weird, having the kids take a mouthful of dry cinnamon and try to swallow it without asphyxiating
Oh,
themselves.
no.
Well, the
no.
dust part, if they try to breathe through their mouth while doing that, that's dangerous. Don't do that. But
I can see that being
I
dangerous.
love the idea of putting the cinnamon sticks in, say, some water in the refrigerator.
Yeah, and one thing that I do find a challenge with patients that aren't getting enough water in their nutrition is I tell them make it fun. Like we were
Use
talking
it.
about the cinnamon, we're talking about putting in blueberries, putting in raspberries, putting
There you
in
go.
strawberries,
Talking
lemon.
about smoothies now.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when we're eating, we want to make sure that we're eating clean once again. So we're eating for quality, and this is where it comes very important to build that relationship with our food. God made us to eat, so we want to eat, make sure we get the quality nutrients in our body so we don't develop disease or disease.
Dis-ease.
Dis-ease, yep.
Wow.
We want our system to be regulated.
We want to eat right. We need to listen to shows like this. And I wanted to also mention Joanne at her store has all kinds of literature. Books are available on everything you can think of pertaining to the things that we talk about on this show on a regular basis. And she won't mind if you want to go in there and take a look at some of her stuff. She's got a lot of great products.
Yeah, great. A lot of educational things going on.
I have a question for you, Dr. Ravi.
Yes.
So I'm thinking about our listeners, and I'm wondering if they might be thinking about if they're concerned about any nutritional deficiencies, especially with the fat-soluble ones. Do you do any kind of testing? What do you do sort of at your practice if somebody comes in and they might have some nutritional deficiencies to make sure that they're getting the proper supplementation and not just going in and just getting everything and it's not proper for their body?
That's a great question you asked, and that's more of the functional medicine side that we do in our office. And so we do specialized testing. We do more organics testing. What that is looking at the urine output. So the urine output tells us exactly what your body is releasing. And so it looks at your 3 different macronutrients and how your body's breaking down those things. So instead of guessing, we test. And so that's an alternative that we use for patients that have serious conditions that are going on and they want an answer right away. We get that test done. And it tells us exactly what vitamin or nutrients that we're missing and what we can supplement into our body when it comes to supplementation or even the type of food that we're eating. So so anyone that needs to know more of that information can definitely contact us at our office at 772-345-0060 or traditionhealth.com. We have a free workshop in our office on March 19th. This is going to be on food.
Mark your calendar.
Yes.
Food is thy medicine.
Food is thy medicine.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
You eat the right foods, you won't get sick as much because
Exactly. You're putting in
Absolutely.
quality nutrients.
Yeah.
And so remember, that's how our body's getting our energy. And so I've had a lot of people from the community ask me, well, what's the best plan? What's the best way to eat? Go vegetarian, go plant-based, go ketogenic. What's the best way for me? And so that's what we're going to be outlaying is all these different approaches to when it comes to eating. And it's interesting to note that all these things have great thing in common, and that's pure, clean food.
Real food.
Real food.
Wow.
What a concept.
as
Yes.
opposed to fake food.
Fake food.
So from a plant, right?
Yes, from a plant
Not
or from
in a
a
plant.
real animal that's eating real food.
No hydrogenated chemicals or additives or
Right.
Yeah.
sedatives or
So
laxatives.
that could
You
be the
know,
small step, right?
One that is definitely a small
Eat
step.
real food. That could be a step.
Yeah. One thing that I wanted to share with the listeners too is when we were speaking at our seminar last 2 weeks, we did throw out an eye opener to the clients there, and the community was that the FDA banned trans fats.
They banned them?
Yeah, they've banned them since 2016.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are there any out there still that we need to watch out for?
There are.
Ooh, there are. Busted. We got them.
But the FDA did ban them. And so they've given manufacturers leeway into this, loopholes into signing basically a certificate to allow them time to figure out their processes.
Ooh.
Get new manufacturers to make their goods and their services.
Yeah.
So this might get a little controversial,
I know.
but I don't know if you follow the Food Babe.
Oh, Food Babe, yes.
But she's
Ms.
sort of
Hari.
a detective, right?
Yes.
Investigating the ingredients and the chemicals that are put into our foods. And if you
Yes.
check her out, she's phenomenal if you're interested in detecting what you're actually eating. Did you see the post recently?
I saw
like
the one about beer.
Doritos in the U.S. versus the Doritos in Europe, the ketchup in the U.S. versus the ketchup in the U.S., right?
Yes.
Completely different, much cleaner in other countries.
So I had a patient ask me about the question about, well, what's a clean beer that I can consume? And that question was asked at the seminar. So I went and looked into it, and I went on Food Babe, and great amount of information on there.
She's phenomenal.
And she actually had petitions signed for these companies to release their ingredients. And it took a long time for her to get those. And they've released the ingredients, but do you know who manages or who regulates the beer manufacturers?
Who?
Take a guess. Cliff.
FDA?
No, you would think
Wait,
it's the
close.
FDA.
ATF?
No, it's actually the Treasury Department. They regulate what's in the beer.
Oh.
Interesting, right? Money. Money.
The bottom line.
So, it all takes, when you want something, you have to work for it.
You do.
And so when it comes to your overall health, you have to work for it. The recommendations I give to my patients, sometimes they have to work for it. But that's why we have a great team to help them achieve those results. And they get these results. And talking about team, I want to mention that when we talk about our fifth essential, minimizing toxicity, one thing that we're trying to get to the Treasure Coast is more awareness of the elderly with breast cancer on the rise. Women over the age of 50 getting breast mammograms done. These mammograms can be very toxic to the bodies. Just by the trauma that the squishing effect on the breast tissue can cause the malignant cells to proliferate. And so better ways and alternative ways to do this, coming with there's no radiation or anything involved compared to a mammogram. That is 100 times more radiation than a chest x-ray. And trust me, if you're getting this every year, you're building up toxic levels. And so there's a reason why now we're seeing a rise in breast cancer with women. And so the best way to do this is actually getting a thermography done. And so what the thermography does, it actually measures the heat or temperature sensitivity around tissues. And so when there's heat influx or heat determinations around the skin, around the area, that's where inflammation is arised. And so this is a protocol that can be utilized in managing your health, not just for breast cancer, any type of cancer, any type of illness, inflammation, high blood pressure, or diabetes. You can see the inflammation around the organ, the cell. And once we get those results, we as the practitioners know exactly a next step holistically, what we can do to take care of that, to get that inflammation decreased. And so I know at Joanne's Nutrition World, Katie from Thermography of Brevard, she's going to be there with her mobile unit on March 1st. That is a Friday. Yes.
That is coming up.
Yes, it is coming up. I believe it's next week.
Yep.
Yes. So if you are interested or even want to know more about that, definitely contact Joanne or even my office. We can get you the direction to her place, get you more information on thermography and why it should be utilized. And it's never bad to get one as a baseline. So that way, when you get one, you know exactly, okay, in the next 5 years, next 2 years, I want to get rechecked. You can see the changes of what your body's going through and decreasing and developing issues.
Is it correct, Dr. Ravi, that the thermography actually detects changes a lot sooner than the mammogram would?
You are 100% correct.
Okay.
Yes. So with the mammogram, it's detecting any type of things that are already there, cells, conglomerate of cells, tumors. And so this thermography, what it's doing, it's checking for inflammation, which is
the
precursor, the root cause of every illness, every disease, cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, you name it, even autoimmune conditions. And so it would never hurt to get one of these tests done.
So you can actually, myself as a woman, if I start to do thermographies, I could really have a solid chance of actually preventing having breast cancer in the first place.
Correct. Any type of cancers.
Before having to worry about getting rid of it once you've got it.
To do
exactly.
right.
Yeah. And worrying about like the side effects of, okay, if I choose this route, what's going to happen? Whereas now there's inflammation developing. What can you do? What diet changes can you make? What lifestyle choices can you make? What stress relieving choices can you make for your life to not get into that stage?
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, so if you have any questions, I'm here at Tradition Family Chiropractic. You can find us on our website, traditionhealth.com, or give us a call at 772-345-0060. And Mitsu, tell us how guests can find yourself.
Guests can find me at mindbodysynergies.com. They can also find me on my business Facebook page, Mind Body Synergies Health, Life, and Transformational Coaching. And my number is 305-815-5736.
Great.
Wow, this has been a special edition of Joanne's World of Nutrition, and we're to the final 2.5 minutes or so. I wanted to make sure that you told everybody where your practice is so they can come and see you in Tradition at Family Chiropractic.
Yes, we're in Tradition at Tradition Family Chiropractic. We're right in the Target building, Target Plaza, right across from McDonald's.
Oh,
don't go to McDonald's. Don't go to McDonald's.
Well, if you
come
do go
across
to
the street.
McDonald's, then you're going to have to go across the street anyway.
To take care of the inflammation. Yes.
If you feel inflamed, just walk on over to Dr. Ravi.
That's right. You got a pain? Do you know someone who's a pain in the neck? You might need Dr. Ravi.
Yes. And Mitsu, how can they find you? Where are you located?
Well, the beauty is I am not location specific.
Great.
I can coach anybody because I do it by phone.
Oh.
Awesome.
So.
Wow.
And if a client ever needs to meet with you, are you able to meet them like at any particular way?
Yeah, I can meet with them at a Starbucks or a coffee shop.
Oh, nice.
Or, FaceTime, Skype, Zoom, whatever is convenient.
Great.
We can set it up.
All right.
Nice.
Wow. Well, we'll come to a close in just a moment here, but just want to let everybody know that Joanne will be back next week. She's here every week. She was even here this week, but she was at the store. Amazing. At the store while the show's on. I know she's listening. It's a great show, Joanne. They did wonderful, Dr. Ravi, and me too.
Me too.
Me too. I am so bad with names.
It's okay.
I'm afraid to call my dog.
Well, Joanne, thanks for having us on the radio show this week.
Yeah,
Right.
Thanks so much, Joanne. It's been great being here.
And Nutrition World. US 1 between Orange Avenue and Avenue A, directly across from Fort Pierce City Hall in the historic arcade building. Go meet Joanne today and hook up with some of her friends like Dr. Ravi. We'll be back again next week. Stick around. We do have coming up Dr. Stuart Scheib's Holistic Health Hour right here on WPSN.